Good morning, everyone. Today we shall see the working of Quicksort. First, I will explain with the example itself before we see the algorithm. Okay, you should understand the working first. Okay, then you can understand the algorithm. All of you carefully listen and see this example for the Quicksort. Okay, the flow you should understand. This is the given array. I want to sort this given array in ascending order, okay, in increasing order. So for that purpose, we shall make use of quicksort algorithm. Okay, in the previous class, we saw merge sort. So today we shall see quicksort, working of quicksort. Um, have you come across quicksort anywhere before in the previous semesters? Quicksort, does anyone know the working of quicksort? Have you studied it or not? If you have studied, then I will explain it fast. Otherwise, I will explain it step by step. Okay. Yeah, fine. So this is a quick sort example. I want to sort this given array in increasing order. Quick sort again, it will make use of the concept of divide and conquer. Divide and conquer means first thing is we shall go on dividing the given array into subarrays. Okay, in merge sort it was equally divided into half parts. Okay, just like in binary search, in merge sort also we used to divide the array into equal parts. But in quick sort, we are not going to divide the array into equal parts. Okay, there is a major difference here. Again, divide process will happen, conquer, divide, and then we shall go on combining the array. But here division will not occur just like in the previous cases. It will not divide the array into half sub-arrays. Okay. So in quick sort, you have to keep in mind one very important thing. First element, we'll call it as pivot element. Okay, first element that is 65 in this array, we call this element as pivot element, that is P. See, in quicksort program or algorithm, wherever you see P or pivot, that means that is the first element. Okay, either we'll take it as P or pivot. Okay, pivot means that's an important element. So first element we'll take it as pivot element, and in this case, which is nothing but 65. Okay, so once you decide the pivot element, you have to, in that array, you have to find out the position for that 65. Where does that 65 lies? Okay, that is the pivot element. It is not the extremely greater number or the least number. So it will come somewhere in between the in the center part of the array. Okay, so first thing is decide the pivot element and then place that pivot element in its particular location. Okay, so that first part of the algorithm, we call it as partition algorithm. Okay, partition part. Partition part means we'll divide the array into two parts. It may be half of or 1/4 or 3/4 like that. We will divide the array into two parts based on the pivot element. First element itself we will consider as pivot, and then we'll place that pivot in its exact location. Okay, in this array, if pivot element was 50, in this array, if pivot element was 45, it would have been in the first place itself. If it is 85, then it will go to the end of the array. Okay, pivot element, when you decide pivot element, you have to place the pivot element in its required position in the array. Okay, how to do that? For that, we have some certain procedures. We shall see that. And then, okay, so P is equal to 65. That is my pivot element in this array. And then I have to take two pointers, I and J. I will point to the first element and J will point to the last element. Okay, it will start with 65 itself. It's already incremented by 1. I will start with first element and J should point to the last element. And L and R also you should remember. L means leftmost position of the array, that is 65. R means rightmost position of the array. Okay, L and R, you just keep it in mind. So I have decided I and J. Next step in the algorithm is, this is the partition part. Next step is we have to go on incrementing the value of I until A of I is greater than 65. Okay, this I value, it was here. We should go on incrementing I value until you find A of I is greater than 65. In this example itself, I have incremented it once. Once you increment, what is the condition? A of I is 70. It is already greater than 65. So stop. Okay, increment value of I until A of I is greater than 65. Okay, so I have incremented I once, and now that condition is greater than A of I is greater than 65. So I will stop incrementing I. After incrementing I, next step is you have to decrement J. Okay, you have to decrement J until A of J is less than 65. Okay, you have to decrement j until a of j is less than 65. You can observe here a of j is 45, it's already less than 65. So you have to stop here. I and j, I will not be further incremented or j will not be further decremented. When these two conditions are satisfied, that is a of I is greater than 65, a of j is less than 65. When these two conditions are satisfied, what we'll do next is we'll swap these two elements, 45 and 70, we will swap. Okay, 45 and 70 are swapped. Okay, 45 will come here, 70 will go to the last part of the array. Now I is present here, I should come here and j should be decremented. Again, based on what condition? I should be incremented, and then you have to check a of I greater than 65 or not. Okay, I should be incremented and j should be decremented. So I will increment the I value and check the condition. A of I is greater than 65. This condition is true. J, decrement the j value. A of j is less than 65. This condition is also true. Okay, A of j is less than 65. When these two conditions are true, what we will do, we'll swap these two things. 50 and 75, we will swap. Okay, 50 and 75, we have swapped. Next, again, increment I value and check A of I whether it is greater than 65 or not. And decrement j and check whether A of j is less than 65 or not. Okay. So A of I is greater than 65, true. A of j is less than 65, that's also true. Again, swap. Okay, we will swap 55 and 80. Okay, we will swap 55 and 80. Is it clear? 55 and 80 are swap. Again, increment I, A of such that A of I should be less than 65, and decrement j, A of I, decrement j. So new I value is A of I 85 is less than 60, greater than 65. A of j is less than 60. Okay, so this condition is true. Again, what you have to do, we have to swap. So once you swap, what you got? You got 60, 85. Is it clear? What is next step? Next step, again, increment I. Okay, increment I, and A of I is greater than 65. So I will come here. Decrement j, j will come here. Okay, increment I and decrement j. Once this increment is over, okay, once I value is greater than j, see, you have to perform up to here only if I is less than j, until I is less than j. Once I is greater than j, okay, I is greater than j, you have to stop incrementing I value and stop decrementing j value. Okay, now I value is more than j value. At this part, we'll stop the increment process. And once we arrive at this part, what we will do is we'll swap A of j value with the pivot element. Okay, once I value is greater than j value, we'll swap A of j element with the pivot element. We'll swap A of, okay, I is greater than or equal to j. So this condition is true now. Break. We'll break out of that part and swap A of left is nothing but pivot element with the A of j element. So we will swap. So 65 will come to the place of 60. 60 will go to the first part. Now, see, now first pass is over. Okay, only first pass is over. At the end of first pass, what you can observe, there is one major thing you can notice here. What is that? When you see the array now, what is that you will observe? See the array. What is that you can observe? See, 65 was our pivot element. Okay, 65 was our pivot element, and it has reached one part of the array where left side elements are less than 65 and right side elements of the array are greater than 65. Is it clear? Left side elements are less than 65. Right side elements are greater than 65. So 65, we can say that it has reached its position in the array. Okay, 65 has reached its position in the array. So we have divided, now 65 is sorted. Now we have to sort this lower part of the array and upper part of the array. We have done the partition. Okay, partition is over. That is based on this logic, we have partitioned the array, wherein less than 65 elements are one part of the array, greater than 65 elements are another part of the array. Now we have to do the partition for this left part and right part. Is it clear? So see this, whatever steps I have explained, that part we call it as partitioning. We are doing the partition of the array using this logic. So partitioning is nothing but we'll take one pivot element and we'll try to divide the array based on that pivot element. Okay, that pivot element may come and sit at the center, or it may sit at the second location or eighth location. It may sit anywhere in the array, but here this array was taken such that it comes at the center of the array. Is it clear? So this is the partition process. Say, I have just explained the example. When you see the algorithm, you will exactly understand what is partition. Again, I will explain two more passes. You will understand. Is it clear? Partitioning. Take one pivot element and then find its location in the array. So once first pass is over, so this is our partitioning element, pivot element. So whatever is less than 65 is at the first part of the array. Now we have to sort this first part and we have to sort the second part independently. Okay, once you sort this and sort this, entire array will be sorted. Is it clear? So we have this array. So this is our new array. This is our new array wherein already we have the one element which is in its place. Now we have to sort the upper part of the array. We have to sort the upper part of the array. When you are sorting this array, what is the pivot element now? See again, recursively we'll repeat the partitioning function. So this is the upper part of the array. Now pivot element is nothing but 60. So 60 is our pivot element. Okay, I value 45, j value is 55. I value is 45, j value is 55. This is j, this is I. I value I will increment. A of I is not greater than 60. Okay, A of I is not greater than 60. I will be incremented to next place. Again, A of I is not greater than 60. I will be incremented to last position. Is it clear? Now A of I, is it greater than 60? So here also it is not greater than 55. See here, I value A of I is not greater than 60. So I will be incremented to next place. A of I is not greater than 60. So I will be incremented to last place. Here also A of I is not greater than 60. At least when you check A of j is also okay. Already I have reached here. So once you reach here, what is the condition? If I greater than or equal to j, break. Okay, if I greater than, already we reached to this location. If I greater than or equal to j, break. Have you understood why we have not decremented j? Before that itself we arrived here? Because A of I is not greater than 60, so I will become 50. A of I is not greater than 60, I will go to the last element. Even A of I is not greater than 60. So we will come to the next part where if I greater than or equal to j, break. Okay, we'll break out of that. Once you break, what is the next thing? Swap A of left is 60 with the A of j element. This is a of j, this is a of left. So 55 will come here, 60 will come here. Is it clear? 60 has reached the one part of the array. And in this part, see, we have applied this partitioning logic for this part of the array. Okay, for this part of the array. Once it is over, once this pass is over, 60 has reached the end. We are left with only left part of the array. And for that left part, again, you have to apply the same partitioning technique. Okay, 55 is there. 55 will come here. And then 45, 50 will remain. 50 will come here. In the beginning, 45 will remain. Okay, that is for the left part of the array. Again, same we shall see for the right part of the array. Okay, for the right part. So that it will sort the left part. Once you go here, it will sort the left part. And then we'll come back, we'll come to the right part of the array. In right part, what is the pivot element? In the right part again, pivot is 85. Okay, pivot is 85. I value here, j value is 70. I is 80, j is 70. A of I greater than 50, 85. A of I is not greater than 85, so increment I. Again, A of I is not greater than 85, increment I. I will come here, okay? J is also there. We'll break out of that. If I greater than or equal to j, break. So it will be broken. We'll come out of that part. Swap, leftmost element is 85. A of j is nothing but 70. So we shall swap these two elements. 70 will come to the first part. 85 will go to the last place. And then repetitively apply that partitioning here. Okay, 70, 80, 85. It will do the sorting. Is it clear? This is nothing but just partitioning algorithm. Okay, you can see the partition algorithm. Okay, Hoare is the person who found out this algorithm. So his name is given here. See, I'm not talking about quicksort algorithm here. I'm just talking about the partition logic. Okay, take pivot element. Pivot element is nothing but A of L. That is the last element. Okay, pivot element is nothing but the last element. I is equal to L. That is initialize the I value to leftmost element. J is equal to R plus 1. Okay, if there are 8 elements, it will be pointing to the 9th location, because we will decrement it first and then we are checking for the condition. For that reason, you have to keep it 1 plus. Okay, it is pointing to the, not pointing to the rightmost element, but right plus 1 it is pointing, j value. I value is pointing to leftmost element, j value is pointing to r plus 1. And you will be repeating this step until this condition is true. Okay, we will be repeating these things until this condition is true. What is this condition? I should be greater than or equal to j. Okay, once I becomes greater than or equal to j, we will stop these steps. That is, we'll stop incrementing I and we'll stop decrementing j. Okay, you can see here, until I is greater than less than j, will continue. Once it becomes greater than or equal to j, we'll stop that partitioning process. We'll stop these steps. We'll stop incrementing I value. We'll stop decrementing j value. Okay, repeat. Increment I value by 1 until A of I is greater than or equal to P. Okay, so that we have done here. You have to keep incrementing I value until A of I should be greater than 65. Okay, go on incrementing I value until A of I is greater than or equal to the pivot element. Once you reach that point, okay, stop incrementing I, come to the rightmost array, go on decrementing j value until A of j is less than or equal to the pivot element. Okay, until A of j is less than or equal to the pivot element, you should go on decrementing j value. So once this condition is also true, this is also true, what we are going to do, we are going to swap A of I and A of j. We'll swap these two elements. All these three steps will be repeated until I is greater than or equal to j. Once this condition becomes true, we'll come out of this thing. Once we come out of this thing, what is the final thing we'll do? We'll swap these two things. That is A of left element with the A of j. Okay, that is the final swap. And return j. What does that partition algorithm returns? Okay, what does it return? Return j means what it is returning. Can anyone? Return j means what it is returning. When you call partition function, what it will return? Say it is returning j. What is there in the j? What it will return? See, that's very important. What it will return? It will return the index of the place where array has to be divided. Okay, partitioning index. Is it clear? It will return this index. See, I said first pass is over here. First pass is over means it will return the j value. J value here. A of j you have swapped with the last element. A of j you have swapped with the last element. So 65 has come here to the jth location. So it is returning j value means it is returning the index, okay, from where you have to divide the array into two parts. Okay, partition element function will return the index means it will return the array index where array has to be divided into two parts. In this case, it will return 5 means index 4. So elements less than 4 index, it is one part of the array and this is another part of the array. So this partitioning algorithm we'll call in quicksort algorithm. Partition function we'll call in quicksort algorithm. Okay, quicksort algorithm, I'm passing the array which has to be sorted. If L less than R, that is left element is less than L value is less than R, until this condition is true, what you must do? We are calling the partition function by passing this array. Okay, array I'm passing and I am calling the partition function, and this partition function is returning j. Okay, that is the point where array has to be divided. So that value will be assigned to s. Once you get that middle element or middle location or the point where array has to be divided, then we have to call the quicksort for left side array and the right side array. So I am calling quicksort again recursively for the array values left to s minus 1. See, s is the point, s is the element which is already sorted. So I will be calling quicksort to sort the leftmost array, and I will be calling quicksort again to sort the rightmost array, s plus 1 r up to rightmost element. Quicksort I am calling for from left element to s minus 1. That is, this is from L to s minus 1, and this is s plus 1 to r. Quicksort you are calling here from s plus 1 to r. Quicksort you are calling here from L to s minus 1. Is it clear? L to s minus 1 and s plus 1 to r. See, we have lab program on this, and there also exactly same algorithms will be using partition algorithm and quicksort algorithm. Okay, if you have understood the logic, then you need not have to buy out the lab programs. It may be merge sort or quicksort, everything. It will be very simple if you remember the algorithm. Programs will be same as this algorithm. Okay, you have to understand the logic. First, we'll do the partitioning, and then apply quicksort for left part of the array and apply quicksort for the right part of the array. One more example. Okay. Again, when I explain this example, you should be able to understand the entire working of quicksort. So these are the elements in our array. I is a pivot element is 5. Okay, this is the entire element. This is array index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 7. 5 is pivot element. I will be in the first place and j will be r plus 1, means it will be pointing to the next location, but we'll do j minus 1 in the beginning itself. Okay, so I is here. You have to increment the I value until what condition is met? A of I is greater than 5. Now A of I is not greater than 5. Increment it to 1. Again A of I is not greater than 5. So I value will be incremented to 9. A of I is 9, which is greater than 5. So stop incrementing I. Next, j will be here. First, it will be decremented to this location. A of j should be less than 5, but it is not less than 5. So decrement it further. A of j is 4. It is less than 5. This condition is true. Once these two conditions are true, what you are going to do? We will swap A of I. Okay, we are going to swap these two things. A of I, A of j. Is it clear? Next, I is here. Increment I value. A of I is greater than 5. This condition is true. We will stop here. J is here. Decrement j. A of j is less than 5. This condition is also true. So we'll stop increment and decrement process. We are going to swap these two things. 2 will appear here. 8 will come here. Is it clear? Next step, increment I and then decrement j. Okay, j has arrived here. I is here. Now I value is greater than j. So we will stop increment and decrement process. Next thing is swap A of j with pivot element. Okay, swap A of j with pivot element. 2 will come to the first place and 5 will come here. So this is the end of first pass. First partition is over. Okay, our pivot element was 5. Okay, 5 was our pivot element. We have done the partition up to here. Next thing is lower part of the array you call quicksort once, and upper part of the array you call quicksort algorithm again. Okay, this is S value partition. First partition is over. Now next do the partition for left side array and then do the partition for the right side array. Let's go to the left side array. Here pivot element is 2. Okay, and the left part pivot element is 2. Increment I. Okay, A of I should be greater than 2. This condition is true. So stop incrementing. A of j should be less than 2, but this is not true. We'll come here, decrement j. Okay, I increment has stopped, decrement j. Okay, next, this condition is true. A of j is less than 2, A of I is greater than 2. So swap these two things. It will be swap 1 and 3. And then increment I, decrement j. So we have arrived here. I is greater than j value. So stop the increment and decrement process. Swap A of j with the leftmost element. A of j and 2 will be swapped. Okay. So second pass is over. Partition of the leftmost array we have done. 2, 3, 1, 4 were the leftmost array. We have done the partition. 2 has arrived at its location. And only one element is there when we do sorting for the less. So it will remain same. 1 and 2 are already sorted. Then we'll come to the rightmost part of the array. 3 and 4. 3 itself is the pivot element. I will be incremented. I and j. Okay. At this location, A of I is greater than 2, but A of j is not less than 3. J will be decremented. Okay, j is decremented, I is incremented. Stop increment and decrement because I is greater than j. Next thing is you have to swap A of j with the leftmost element. Okay, if you do the swap, it will do the swap. Anyhow, value is same, but it will still do the swap. 3 will come, and finally quicks out for fourth. There is no need to divide the fourth element, only one element is left. So leftmost array is sorted 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. We will come to the rightmost part of the array. Okay, in the rightmost, pivot element is nothing but 8. So increment I value. A of I is greater than 8, true. A of j is less than 8. Okay, so this is also true. Swap these two elements. Okay, 7 will arrive here, 9 here. Increment I, decrement j. Now I is greater than j, increment and decrement will stop. Okay, swap A of j with leftmost element. 7 will come here, 8 will be here. Okay, so here partitioning is over with the help of 8, and we'll come to this. Only one element is left, so keep as it is. Here also only one element is left. Keep it as it is in the array. So finally, array will be sorted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Is it clear? So this is quick sort. See, in exam, merge sort usually they will not ask because it is very easy to do that. They might ask this problem, quick sort. Give one array and ask you to sort using the quick sort. All of you mark your attendance first. Okay. Is it clear? So this is quick sort. If you want, like, let me know. I will explain again this algorithm with one more example. If anyone needs it, please let me know. You have to understand this, okay? Again, lab program is there. While explaining lab program, I will take up one example and I will explain there also. You have to understand this algorithm. Algorithm is simple. Only thing is you have to sit and solve it once. Then you'll understand it better. See, analysis, if you do best case or worst case, what is the best case here? See, okay, this is the array. Best case is I will divide the array into equal parts, and leftmost array also I will divide the array into equal parts, right also equal parts, and further I will go on dividing the arrays into equal parts. If such array occurs, okay, if the elements are such that you would go on dividing them into equal parts, then we will arrive at the best case of quicksort. Is it clear? This is one example for best case. Usually you won't get such an array, but if you get happen to get such an array wherein it will go on dividing the array into equal parts, left equal, right equal number of parts, then we will arrive at the best case of quicksort. So we cut the array into half each time, and the depth of the recursion, you all know, when it goes exactly half of half, it will be log n. At each level of the recursion, all the partition at that level uh, is linear. Okay, n. So usually here it will be big O of n log n into log n. Its complexity. And what is the worst case? Can anyone tell what is the worst case? Observe here, this is the worst case situation. By seeing this itself, one can imagine what is worst case. Worst case is nothing but partitioning is not happening. It is not dividing the array into equal parts. What is happening is only one element. Okay, if this is the pivot, array will be divided like this. One